We're back, baby. It's the charity stripe. Hit your free throws because they all free. Joshua Fisher, Alexander, tossing me the rock, Tosopoulos, DJ Nikki's next. Kreider, best of Bleav, right here on Stadium. You want clips? We got clips. Smash and dash. CJ2K, Lendale White, talking about Zeke and TP on the Dallas Cowboys. Enjoy.
If you look at all the games throughout this year, I guarantee you majority of the games, TP had a better game. No, I'm just saying. So if you're looking at that,
I gotta. I mean, you might be right. I'm not saying you want. I just gotta look at that stat. And even with, I don't
yards per carry.
Yeah, but bro, but I also know how that is, bro. We talking about a 230 pound downhill. They want to give you a gap, but then when this guy comes, bro, I know because I've been that guy.
Saying,
no, I.
If you were in his shoes, everybody trying to get paid.
Now, if I'm
Zeke ain't got paid already.
I'm looking at them like he the same carries y'all giving him. To stop giving me power. No, because when I see Zeke running, it's always it's downhill stuff.
Well, can Zeke get on the edge?
Yes.
How they want him to get on.
I love
Zeke
to do it. Bro, don't try Zeke like that.
I'm just asking.
Hey, bro, don't do that.
I'm asking you, can he get on the edge?
Are you trying Zeke?
No, I'm just asking.
I'm asking you, do you think Zeke can get there?
Not like TP.
Well, there's always a little bit more quickness,
like
but I don't think TP. I don't think TP could also take 300 carries. I think if TP was the full-time running back, he would fold. That's just me.
I appreciate Lendale's take because I think we've all been Zeke stans since the beginning of time. I don't know if this is my Ohio State bias. I don't know. You're iffy on Zeke?
I've never been like a hardcore stan. I mean, I like him. I think he's a great running back, but not like the last couple of years have been pretty awful.
I don't think he's been awful. I think awful is a tough statement. That's right. That's
he's the running back. I think he's the running back for the Dallas Cowboys, just like Dak is the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and they both receive a lot of unfair criticism because of the team they play for.
Awful is a tough statement.
Not this season, but 2 seasons ago and like last season, he had the fumble issues. He couldn't do anything on the ground in terms of productivity. He was getting like 3 yards a carry. It's not what he's paid to do.
Okay, I think for pay and for where he was drafted and for his namesake, not great. But by and large, I think Lendale brings up a great point. He's getting a lot of the tougher carries. He's being asked to do a lot of the pass blocking duties. Like,
of the running backs that are drafted in the top 15 in the first round that are currently in the NFL, who has performed better than him collectively in their career?
Nobody.
Saquon?
No. He's been hurt, bro.
He's been hurt 1 year.
2 years.
He's only been hurt for 1 year.
No.
2 years.
Saquon?
He got re-injured last year and missed the entirety of the second half of the season.
He missed 1 full year, and then he was in and out of the lineup last year. He's played like 1 full year, and this is his second really full year. We're talking about him being a bust. Leonard Fournette has had a resurgence with the Buccaneers, but he got booed out of Jacksonville. And then CMC, who is the most talented, I'll give everyone that, but he also has had major injury issues. Yep. At least Zeke has been like available and consistent. I think Ezekiel, except for last week, ironically. The thing is, I think this is a great problem to have.
It's a luxury of riches, for sure.
Like, what's
Definitely.
the issue? Like, maybe the issue is TP deserves to be the quote-unquote number one guy somewhere. But, like,
the only issue is for TP. He's losing money.
Yeah, but why can't you have a 1-2 punch? And, maybe he goes somewhere. Like, that's the thing. Maybe he goes somewhere else.
When's he become free agent?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Sure either.
I'm not sure off the top of my head. But I think
I will check it.
The viewpoint that Lendale brings in just putting out there that, like, Zeke is seeing a full box every time he's running.
Yeah.
It's incredibly difficult for him to bounce the ball outside.
They're two different backs. Getting the ball out of shotgun creates more mystery.
Yeah. It's cool that he's shining a light on, like, different running backs receive different opportunities from the types of runs that they're called.
Yes.
Tony Pollard, free agent next season.
So he has 1 more year?
No, this is it. This is last season.
So he'll get paid regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the NFL. He's a starting running back on a lot of teams.
But you don't want... I mean, if you're an NFL team, like, look what the Dolphins just did. We were talking about them trading for Bradley Chubb. We didn't even mention that they traded for Jeff Wilson. They have Mostert and Jeff Wilson.
And they lost Edmonds in that trade.
Sure, who had basically his job had gotten taken from him by Mostert. All these teams want 2 running backs.
And I think they want
multiple guys they can split carries with so that not one guy is taking 28 carries. because we know that that's working for the Titans, but we've seen what's happened. Eventually, a guy gets hurt.
But in free agency, Tony Pollard is going to command a lot of money,
in
my opinion, just based off of what he's done this season. And I don't know if Dallas is going to be willing to pay that because they're already obligated so much money to Zeke.
Yeah, I mean, someone will exactly. That is an issue. I think the days of, in my opinion, as a GM, like from the couch, paying running backs an exorbitant amount of money, those days are kind of done for
It's got to be like a team that has a young running back that's productive on a rookie deal.
Yeah, that can go out and get Tony Pollard to have another luxury. But I think he's worth some dollars. Let's talk about a guy that's really is when he's on the field worth the big bucks. And this is not us sucking up to his mom, but the Your Mom podcast with Lisa McCaffrey, Ashley Adamson. She's talking about her son. Enjoy.
I laughed, I cried, everything, the whole gauntlet of emotions. It was such an amazing way to watch the game too, because we opted not to go because it was in LA, and so this year I've made a pact with myself, self-help or perseverance, I guess I should say. So I'm not making myself go to the away games. I'm like, he doesn't need me there. He's supported. He's got Olivia's there. Tons of friends were there. So I'm like, we don't have to go to that. And we had just got off the plane from Luke's game, and Ed and I rushed home. So it was just Ed and I in our house by ourselves. And it was, I can't even tell you, we've been through so much, so many losing seasons and games and heartbreaking. And it was just such a turnaround. I can't tell you, it was just so blissful and joyous. And it was so great because we were together and we could be just happy and be our real emotions could come out. We were able to just be happy. And
when the guy is on the field, he might be the best pound for pound offensive athlete in the NFL.
He did it all last week. Receiving touchdown, rushing touchdown, passing touchdown.
I mean, that's
first time since
LT.
That's right, LaDainian.
The passing touchdown was like roll out to the right, stop, plant your feet, rip it upfield for 30 yards. It was actually a really good throw. Yeah.
Here's a hot take. If Christian McCaffrey was the quarterback for the Jets, they'd be in a better position than they are with Zach Wilson.
I don't know about that.
That's come on.
Two Scorcher.
But I really believe
Scorcher 8.
That not just Jimmy Garoppolo, but Debo and Ayuk benefit so much from this guy's versatility.
Ooh, okay, because they're in the show. We're not using the clip. Chris Johnson had the debate of does Debo's fantasy production get hurt with Christian McCaffrey being there, and I would love to hear your.
I don't think so. I mean, he draws less attention. Now they have to worry about another player who does similar things to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. What do you think over there?
I think the only thing that's hurting Debo's fantasy value is his ability to stay on the field. And I would actually argue that Ayuk is taking more away from Debo than Christian McCaffrey is. I know the carries aren't going to him. Ayuk is, when he has the second DB on him, I mean, that guy on some teams, I think by the end of the season, we might be saying like he would potentially be a wide receiver one.
Last segment, he'd be a number one in the Giants.
Yeah, what about the Bears? If they hadn't traded for Claypool and they had gotten Ayuk, like...
Hypothetically, yeah. He would have been the number one there.
He's looked really good this year.
Yeah, when he was not in the doghouse for Shanahan last year, he was excellent. Right. He was just in the doghouse for a majority of the year. Let's talk to a team that's got a lot of questions. Cam Lynch, Jake Ellenbogen, Bleav in Rams. Check this clip out.
Even going to Allen Robinson, I mean, the guy is like lukewarm right now, right? Like his play is like lukewarm, and not just because of his play, but just the amount of reps or the amount of opportunities he's getting. It's lukewarm. You want to see that thing kind of boiling a little bit, right? Cooper Kupp, he's Super Cooper. You know what I mean? The guy is outstanding. Like each week in and out. I mean, it's insane to see what he does. But like he's boiling. We need to get Allen Robinson more to that hot. Get him to the hot side a little bit, right? I mean, if you bring Cooper Kupp down a little bit, make him extremely hot, and then you get, Allen Robinson to that hot phase, that'll be great. But right now, he's lukewarm, and you can see just the spark, right? You see Allen Robinson make plays first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, but maybe like one or two. You want to see him, consistently getting that football and just balling out.
This has to be this is like Hangover 4. I know we're doing a lot of movie sequels and trequels and quadriquels now, and I think this is Hangover 4. Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, Zach Galifianakis are out. Baby Carlos is out. Starring Sean McVay, Matthew, Eugene Stafford, Cameron Akers, and Cooper Kupp. I mean, this team is so hungover. I don't even think 8 Pedialytes could help.
They should all just retire together, ride off in the wind, and actually do the real hangover.
A little Frodo Baggins.
It was reported that McVay is completely tied to Ramsey, Donald, Kupp, and Stafford. Those 4 guys determine what he does with his career as a coach.
But so what combination of guys does it make a difference for whether he leaves or not? So if one of them leaves, then he's probably staying. If half of them leave, though, is he done?
I think some of it has to do with like the replacements, right? If it's Stafford's gone, like who's the quarterback that's slotting in?
I also truly believe that it's Donald and Cup
that he's tied to.
Yeah.
How could he be tied to his career? Be tied to Stafford after 1 year? Yeah, I'm with you.
And honestly, Ramsey is for sure not unquestionably the number 1 defensive back in football. Now.
He's not, and he's also really temperamental too. So like you never know what's going to happen.
I mean, the young dudes like we mentioned, Surtain and Sauce Gardner.
He could try to request a trade and go to another team. Like he's one of those guys.
Cam is obviously talking about Allen Robinson, who has underperformed this year thus far for the Rams. As a fantasy owner of Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp is banged up. He's got a real opportunity here.
Might be his time.
It has to be his time.
Yep.
And if it's not,
for what they paid him,
then we were wrong about Allen Robinson, and we were dead wrong about the Los Angeles Rams. All right. Let's talk college football. Ted and Yogi's Pac-12 adventure. Ted Robinson, Yogi Roth, Mike Molinari. Plus, someone was fired in Alabama, but not for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Jason Campbell, Taylor Davis, Bleav in everything Auburn. Josh Fisher, Alexander Tossman, The Rock Tosopoulos, DJ Nicky Snacks, Crider the Charity Stripe. Best to Bleav right here on Stadium. We'll be back.